It is G-Force Friday. This is Tom Ginn. Hey, I just wanted to say a lot of gratitude out to everybody today. Today it's an honor, and I'm excited to introduce a friend of mine. Jamie, I'm going to mute your mic here just for a second
Okay.
here. Introduce a colleague and a friend in a group that I'm associated with called Excellence in Business in the Milwaukee area. She's on our advisory board, and she helps us bring content to other business leaders, and she spoke many times at our group, and she brings a powerful message about how she's created her business and the culture. And so I just want to let you know you're in treat today to meet Jamie Kolaski. Okay, Pink Lemonade. That's an interesting name. So with that, Jamie, I'm bringing you on. Are you ready? Are you ready, Jamie?
I am ready.
Great. Hey, Jamie, thanks for being here today. And I'm really excited to have you on G-Force. And uh, G-Force is really about gratitude. And I believe it's one of the most powerful words we can use in our life, our businesses, our relationships, because it gives us new awareness, gives us hope, it gives us clarity of where we're at. Even in downtimes, when we are grateful, gratitude is a powerful word. And that's the premise around G-Force is gratitude. I believe it's one of the most powerful words we can use. So with Jamie, I welcome you today. And we just want to start out just to find out about you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Let the audience know where are you born, just your family, whatever. Just let it go from there.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Tom, for having me. Um, my name is Jamie Kolaski, as Tom has stated. I grew up in a very small town called Horicon here in Wisconsin. I am married and have two crazy little children, a 4 and a 6-year-old. They keep me quite busy in my free time. Um, and yeah.
Well, where do you live now? Where do you live now?
Now I live in Richfield, and my company, Pink Lemonade Salon, is in Menominee Falls.
Okay, great. How old are your children?
They are 4 and 6.
4 and 6. I know we've
Mm-hmm.
had some conversations, and children are a handful, no matter what age. But 4 and 6, keeping a leash on them is probably a big challenge for you.
For sure, it makes
Yeah.
owning a business seem easy.
Yeah,
because they are the hardest.
Yeah, I could probably relate to that from my past experience. Yeah, sometimes the business is a lot easier than raising kids, for sure. So, what I like to do is, your business. Why don't you share a little bit about your business, your history, your career, that story about yourself, and why did you go into business for yourself?
So I went into business at the young age of 25, just I wanted to create a place that really empowered people, made people happy, um, there was a great team mentality there. And initially starting at such a young age, I absolutely didn't have a clue how to run a business, and just kind of jumped in. And over the last 17 years have made a lot of different changes and decisions that would get me to where I am today. I took the long road getting here. And one of the reasons why I get excited to help other people get here quite a bit quicker than 17 years. So when I initially started my company, I had a business model of renting my chairs to other hairdressers that were interested. And they were not my employees. They were leasing the space. And after a little while, I decided as we were growing, I wanted to bring employees on. So I just went with what was known in our industry and created a commission-based salon environment. And I wasn't satisfied with the energy within the team. That commission base brings on a lot of competitiveness within your own doors. And I wanted to get rid of that. And I also wanted to alleviate the stress on the team for having to rely on their books constantly being filled to make a living. So then I 4 years ago changed my company to a team-based pay model that has been able to give me everything I initially dreamed I wanted 17 years ago.
Can you share that concept again? The model you use now?
It's called team-based pay,
Okay.
and it's not as mainstream in our industry, but I do feel it's right for myself and my company and the team members that prefer to work this way. It's how every other industry pays people, their employees, is they receive an hourly rate. In the salon world, it's very popular and there's nothing wrong with it, but most salons are commission-based models, where a provider would get a certain percent of their sales. And that would be really hard when I would see my team have cancellations or nobody on their books, and they're not making a wage. So this way, it just really takes the stress away from my providers to be able to perform when they do have a client in their chair at the best of their ability and not have to worry about the financial piece. It also, one of the things that I was most excited about is loyalty is the number one attribute I hold within my heart for having a company. And I wanted to be able to reward people that stay with me over time. And as being a service provider and having to use your hands and be on your feet all day, you get to a point where you can't physically see any more guests in a day. So you cap out on the amount of money you make. And I didn't want that to happen to my team. So with this model, there is no capping out on your hourly rate. And we work together as a team, and there's harmony within the company instead of competitiveness within our own doors.
Okay. So how did you find about this model and embrace it at your own level and encapsulating that in and around your vision? What were there obstacles from that commission base only to the employee? Did you have struggles? Did your people have trouble buying into that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime you present something new, there's always, most people are going to fight it, and some for good reason, which is great for them. But yeah, we definitely had a lot of obstacles. But through this program, I actually did hire a coach to help me through it. And their big saying through the strategies company was coach them in or coach them out. And what's really cool about this is you end up with a team who wants to be there and carries the same values that you do. And not saying that my values are the right values or the perfect values everyone should have, but they're right for me and my company.
That's something myself being in business and what we see and the struggles businesses have is many times business owners hire people to fill a slot.
Yes.
Versus hiring people to buy into their vision.
Yes.
And so what do you do about that when you're interviewing somebody to fill a position? What's your vision? What do you share with them, and how do you make that value judgment before you hire them? They may have great skills,
right?
But what's your litmus test?
So, my team that does the hiring, we hire off of attitude. Because that's the most important thing, and that's something you can't really change in a person. So a lot of our interview questions are more centered around their personality and their values and their attitude. And the rest we can train or send them out to get educated in the technical part of the job. But if you bring in a happy employee or a happy person, happy people are more successful. So we don't necessarily look at the talent immediately. That's after we've hired them. We find out where their talent lies and what work we need to do to get them skill certified. But attitude is everything.
Okay. Yeah, so when you said, I was looking here at some of my notes, and one of the things you said that, I've heard you talk about is that creating a culture. And what is that? Share with us what that culture looks like. And so our audience has an opportunity to, when I talk, you're in a salon, you're in the, what does that culture look like? What is it when somebody walks through the door, they see it, they feel it. So why don't you just share with me to our audience, what culture means to you, that picture?
Well, in a really short answer, it means to me the energy. When you walk into a room, you instantly have a feeling, whether it's good or bad. So that's a really, really simple way to describe the culture. But what it really does look like is I have a team that understands our vision, how they are contributing to it, areas that I allow them to help create the protocol to get us there, and just honestly a place where people are happier and feel comfortable and do share the same values that I share. And one of the main ones is that I love making people's day. And even the people that didn't work out for me, everyone we hire does have a good heart, and I think that's what's so important as well too.
Okay, that energy is so important.
Energy, yes.
Energy. What something you also said, I think is important, is it sounds like you empower your people to make that energy work, make the vision work. It sounds like you incorporate their value to build that vision and culture that you're doing. Did I hear you correct on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know everything, so it's great to find a team around you that can help contribute to the greater good of the company. And I have some really, really talented, I say this as every year, but I truly do have the best team now. We have just a great staff, and everybody is so willing to participate in the growth of the company.
Yeah, me being in the coaching business, when we have a business and we have employees, we're hoping they're buying into our vision and the culture and what we want to do and serve the client at the best level of service we can, no matter what the business is.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that everybody that's on your team has their own agenda, how do you help them understand that what's in it for me? How do you communicate that by participating that they're going to get something more in return? What are the type of things you do to reward them besides the money you pay them? What are the things you do that they can say, hey, I'm really glad I'm here and it fills my need? What is in it for me? So some things you might do differently.
Well, for example, just the other day, I went to the restaurant next door and got a giant pretzel with cheese, wrote a little love note on it, and left it out for the team. It's just little acts of kindness.
Okay. And that's that gratitude, right?
Yep.
It's contagious. And that ultimately affects how they work with the people they're providing service for.
Absolutely. Happy employees produce happy guests.
Yeah. And guess what? My wife has said this, she's in the health industry, massage therapist and stuff. And she teaches business and she teaches interaction with people. And she says, people just come to me off referrals. And one day we had some conversation about it. It's probably, the reason why I say this story is not about me and my wife, but I think it translates whether you're in the massage industry or the salon industry, or if you're in sales, or if no matter what your business is people will spread the good news, not because the product or the service was the best. It should be. We should be striving for that. But it's the experience they come away with that spreads the word into the marketplace. And the experience. So what do your people do to enhance the experience for your customers or their customers?
I think it's such a simple thing. I think I have a really genuine staff that cares about our guests. And a lot of time, back to that energy thing, you can just tell when you're somewhere or speaking with someone that truly cares. And I think that energy just radiates when you walk through the doors.
Okay. And that's important. You know, when you walk into, whether it be a restaurant or salon, I can't explain it, but we know it.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It's ever presence, and that's a hard thing to do. So I have to compliment you, is being able to create that vision for people, and that you value them, and to be the best they can be. Because I know we've had some conversation around that. Yes. You mentioned that you end up getting some consulting or coaching or whatever.
Yes.
What was the trigger? Because I talked to a lot of business people, and they want to buy systems and they want to processes and this and that, think their business is going to be better. What caused you to turn to coaching, and what type of coaching or did you seek out, and how that helped you?
So I like I had spoke earlier with the team-based pay business model, there's a great company called Strategies that I went through and held my hand through that transition, because that was the toughest thing I've ever been through. And then after that, I had bumped into our good friend, Chuck Harris, who then became my coach. And, after having a coach through Strategies, it's just really nice when you're on the top to have someone to kind of hold you accountable and make you the best you can be. I spend a lot of my time cheerleading on my staff, and I need that same cheerleading in return. And coaches have always helped me stay focused on my vision and cheerlead for me.
That is a yes. And, the coaches really bring a different perspective, because many times we're in the trenches. All we see is the trench we're in. We never see the top of the trench. And so I'm an advocate of having coaches and mentors to guide you through the things that we don't see. So as a business owner, where would you put getting coaching in their business planning, in their strategies?
I mean, I think I would put that at the top of the list, actually. I think a lot of people that own businesses, we have visions. So we can easily get lost up in that cloud of ideas. And to have a coach, even if it's, checking in every few months, or find a great mentor that can check in on you just to make sure you're not straying too far from the path. I think as owners, we get distracted quite easily. This isn't how it's been done. This is how it should be done. And we start to doubt ourselves. And just having someone to bounce these ideas off of and kind of let us know we're on the correct path for us. I mean, each business is different. It's just really mentally healthy. Yeah.
One of the things that, we have the common relationship with Chuck Harris.
Yes.
Many business owners, it's them.
Yeah.
And if they ever stop working, they take a vacation, COVID comes up, any of those, I'm going to get back to COVID here in a moment. And being in business is operating by itself. And you've talked about you creating a business that operates on remote control. Can you share with the audience the vision that you had and how it's working and how your people support that? Because many times they're looking at me, look at it as envious and jealous. But how does that work, you operating your business on remote control?
Sure. Just like it sounds, I've employed great people. We have systems in place, and most things are just no-brainers. Expectations are very clear. Communication, I mean, every business always needs to work on their communication, and we work on it every single day to make sure everyone is in the know of everything at all times. But yeah, I mean, it's very cool, and it's just like it sounds. I would not have to go into the company if I did not want to, because my team and my management team take care of everything for me. And it took 17 years to get here. I'm glad I did, though, because now this allows me to really see the big picture a lot clearer. I'm not in the day-to-day emotional things that happen within the salon, so I can sit back, think clear, and make better decisions for us moving forward, and actually be a true business owner instead of just an employee of my business.
Yeah, and that's part of that vision. And to have a successful business such as yours, it takes a unique amount of clarity of what you want. And you talked about it earlier, is your vision, and get your people to buy into the vision. What's in it for them?
Yes.
You've got your business, but what's in it for them? Security, work environment. I think that those two things are more important than money they make in many cases, that they feel good going there, and then they are contributing, making somebody else feel better about themselves, doing their hair and their makeup and all the things that you guys do. So I think that's a talent and a gift that you have. And as a business owner, go ahead.
I think everyone has the talent to be able to do this. I just think we are our own worst enemy, and sometimes don't follow our visions as much as we should. Like I said, listen to that outside noise that can kind of throw you off track. So everyone in any industry has the ability to do this. And I think also, a good turning point too is just realizing that even though Pink Lemonade is my baby, it isn't about me. It's about the team. And I think a lot of times owners' egos get in the way of giving up the control and the power to their team, when really that's what will catapult you further, farther, faster than thinking that you are the only person that can do it right and always have to do it.
Yeah, that goes to trust. You're giving trust. You empower people. I'm sure you've got guidelines. You've got lines in the sand that they've already bought into. They know how far to go, but you've empowered them. I got a question for you. Pink Lemonade. I love that name. How did that come about? What is that? It conjures up a lot of questions in my mind. Tell me a little bit about
I really need to make up a wonderful story surrounding the name of the company. I do get asked that often, but honestly, I love summer. Pink Lemonade just reminds me of summertime. It's a name you won't forget once you hear it. It's girly, it's fresh, it's just cute.
Yeah, and I don't get my hair done in a salon. I usually wait for about 6 weeks, and then I go find some place that's open to cut my hair, and never know what I'm going to get. That's probably not a good idea, but anyway, Yeah, trust and that's a fun name, Pink
Mm-hmm.
Lemonade. Hey, that's one of the things in anybody in business is what's your differentiation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what separates Pink Lemonade's salon from the salon down the street or across town? What would you say the defining differentiation that you bring to the marketplace that people will seek you out?
I just have to go back to again to saying the energy when you walk in. We're very welcoming. We're very, very kind. We give back to the community so much. Uh, we love Menominee Falls. Thank you. I could cry. They're a great village. Um, yeah, I mean, it's the energy that the team brings.
Yeah. Because I made comment in a couple of my introductions to you're bringing tears to me. Come on now.
Ah, I was
I
trying to get through an interview without crying. My team's probably laughing as they watch
it
this.
is good. It is good. It's okay.
Made it
It's
through a
okay.
staff meeting without tears.
Yeah. Well, that tells you where your heart is. People know you're coming from a place of caring,
Sure.
gratitude, authenticity. And I think that's an important factor of being a business owner and a leader is that you are vulnerable and that you are just like them and you have fears and worries and doubts and all those things.
Yes.
And you can show it without, I don't know what you'd call it, without hiding from it. But okay.
Yes. I
So
try to hide it from myself. It just shows up.
when you say you love your community, giving to you, what are the things you're doing in your community to help that community, whatever it may be?
Yeah, this year's been a little bit more difficult with COVID, but we donate so much to every organization. Um, so a lot of what we do right now is just giving donations to the great silent auctions and other fundraisers in the
Okay.
village. Um, and obviously, with now me operating remote control, my goal is to get out in the community and actually volunteer time as well, because I think that is just as important sometimes as money.
And how do your people respond working, with your vision, giving back to the community? Are they fully engaged with that, or are they resisted, or are they just?
Oh, no, they're fully engaged. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
yeah, okay.
No
I
resistance.
figured that, but just
Yeah.
I'm busy. I don't have time to do that. But
Oh no.
they're part of that and understand the
Yes.
value of that. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. COVID, you're one of those industries or businesses that have been impacted.
Yes.
Um, what did you do as a business owner to instill some sort of, because we're working in an area of uncertainty and that creates all sorts of problems emotionally
Yes.
and how we act. What were some of the things you have done in this time of COVID that held your team together, held you together as well? So if you can share anything that comes to mind.
Yeah. So when COVID first started, we didn't really know how long it was going to be. Um, we have a Slack channel app that we communicate on a regular basis. And I just kind of started a little happiness project within that app. Um, everyday little tasks like clean off your dump zone in your house or reorganize a closet. Silly things that we all like to do, or some people don't like to do, but most of us on the team like to do those little projects. I really wanted to keep their head in the game, and yeah.
I think it's, those things. I think what you're sharing here is you're coming from a place that you care about your people. And it's the simplest things. Sometimes we can't solve the big problem, right? It's outside our control. But
Yeah.
just knowing that you're a rock for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see why you have a good team. Okay. Um, yeah. So your culture, Pink Lemonade, I like that. That's cool. Um, In conversation the other day with you, you're taking on another project. You're looking at to expand something or open another doors to another
Yes.
business.
Yeah. So, COVID put us out of work for 2.5 months, and I love shopping. And I thought, I wanted to bring something else into the company that could help us out in case we'd have to shut down again. So I decided to add a boutique to the company, which has just been so much fun. I've been spending my time online shopping, which, I mean, what lady wouldn't like that as a job? And again, just protecting us in the future if something were to happen that we'd be closed down, I'd have that opportunity to sell online, or sell through Facebook, and guests could pick up at the shop, type of thing. So it just was a natural fit, because I love to shop.
Okay. That's so important. Just having that sense of awareness, and that's probably been brought about, many times under crisis to cause us to readdress things. But you've pivoted and shifted, and I compliment you. There's so many businesses get stuck in their stuckness. I
Yes.
made a word up there. That you have the vision to see that if this occurs, and it may occur over and over and over again, so
Right.
we're operating and shutting down or downsizing.
Yeah.
I compliment you as a business person to a business person, is to look at how can you create an environment or parallel businesses that will support and keep you viable, which means it keeps your people viable.
Correct.
And I compliment you that. And any advice to other small businesses about opportunity, keeping their eyes open for opportunity?
Oh, yeah, about opportunity. I mean, you know, I think that the biggest key to that, as silly as it sounds that I was saying I love shopping, but what are you passionate about? And find a way to turn that into a business opportunity. I would never want to do something I didn't love doing. I had never complained about going to work ever. I actually look forward to going to work, because I love it. And I don't want to spend my life just having a job or doing something I don't care about. So find what you're passionate about, and make a way to have that be profitable for you.
Perfect. So a woman of wisdom and
Yeah.
experience. Sure, Jamie, is that what you bring and what you're sharing today is going to touch people, and it gives them an opportunity to say, "Hey, I've been struggling. COVID's hurt a lot of people in a lot
Yes.
of businesses. My wife's business, for example, but we learned to pivot. We
Hmm.
learned to know that there is things that we can do to accentuate or run parallel with. So when it occurs again, because something's going to occur again, I don't know what it is, but something's going to occur.
Hmm.
Now you're in a position to weather the storms.
Correct.
And I just encourage anybody that's in business, how can they add more value, more parallel things, so that you're not one-legged in business,
Absolutely.
one-legged. So, well, Jamie, um, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, is there anything in closing here that you know what? Could you share this story? The one about the woman that knocked on the door of the beauty salon and he was closing up and let her in. Do you know what story I'm talking about?
I don't think I do. Can you share that story with me, please?
Well, you want me to tell your story? You probably it was
Oh, the Daymaker story.
the Daymaker story. Yeah, because I think it would have impact on who we should be operating as businesses. And if you could go ahead and share that, and we'll close with that.
Oh,
It
I'm gonna need to
impacted
get
me in such a great way
a
when I heard
box
it.
of tissues, Tom. Why are you doing this to me?
Because I love tears.
Stop. Well, maybe you can jump in when I get too choked up to continue.
Go ahead.
Is that a fair plan?
You're on.
All right. So the Daymaker story is a story about a lady who was getting her hair done. Whew. Tom, I think you're going to have to take over. This one kills me.
Okay, I would be glad to share it. If I could, if I paraphrase what I heard the first time you
Yes.
shared it.
Perfect.
It's not important to the accuracy of it. I think it's the essence of what impact we as business people or people in general should be aware of. And the story basically goes this way. He was closing up his shop at 5 o'clock, locked the door, and a knock on the door. Somebody's there. You know, what do most business people do? Hey, we're done. 5 o'clock. I'm out of here. We're done, right? And I see that all the time when I go out there. But that salon keeper went to the door, and the woman says, I really need my hair done. Come on in. And he serviced her. And he could have said no and packed up and got home, but he gave her that extra attention. Did her hair. She left. He didn't think anything of it. Other than that was his spirit to meet a need and filled it without expectation. And then she comes back a couple weeks later and says, thank you for doing my hair. And he said, it was my pleasure. He says, no, I want to thank you. Because the reason I was getting my hair done is I was going to commit suicide. So we never know as individuals or business owners how we can impact and make a difference in people's life. And I think that story, it resonates with me, brings tears to my eyes. Well, I don't know if I said it as well as you did, but that's
you did a great job. You did a great job.
Yeah. When you said that, it caused me to reflect more about getting out of my own way, be more conscious and more grateful for other people, because unfortunately, many times we look at the world, it's all about us. Mm-hmm. And that story, one thing and how we treat somebody can make the difference, because we don't know where that person is. And that act of kindness coming from the heart of love and gratitude and joy can make the difference. And that's where your space comes from, Jamie.
Yes.
I don't want to say that sincerely to you. So
yes, thank you.
Well,
nice job with that story, Tom.
Yeah, so we'll get off screen and you know, just to hang on for a moment. I'm just going to put you in the green room and we're going to wrap it up here. And again, thank you for being here as a guest, and good to know you as a colleague in business.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, Jamie. Well, whew. That's why I love doing this business, doing these talks, because no matter where we are, what we do in our lives, we can make impacts. Her being a business owner and creating a business that is enriching people's lives and our employees' culture is so valuable. So with that, again, Jamie, I thank you much. And G-Force, thank you for being here. Those that have jumped on, you know, hey, Randy, thanks for jumping on, Randy. I appreciate you being here today. Share this out with your friends, tag your friends, share Jamie's story out there. With gratitude, I'm signing out.